a busy entrepreneur, making time for self-care isn't always easy, but it can be easier with these quick self-care tips for busy entrepreneurs. Hey everyone, welcome back to Krystal TV, where today we are talking about quick self-care tips for busy entrepreneurs. Self-care, it's always the buzzword, right? Everybody's always talking about it, but it's not always easy to get incorporated into your day, especially when you're first getting started in entrepreneurship. But it is important. And if you're gonna make it for the long term as an entrepreneur, it needs to become a part of your day. So these are my quick, simple tips for at least getting a self-care routine into your day. First, make it convenient. I cannot say this enough, but you have to fit it in where you are, when you are. Like I talked about in video number 2, Own Your Own Business, Where Do I Even Start? You have to make room for self-care in your life, which means you have to make room for it in the space that you are in. You also have to really plan it into your day, right? It can't just be an afterthought. If you're making your self-care an afterthought, it's never going to get done. It's just going to be one more thing on your to-do list, and it's never going to get there. It goes against the grain for most of us to take time out for self-care, right? We are trained from a very, very young age that productivity is all encompassing and that it's the most important thing. So when you do show up for yourself, which is what self-care is, it's showing up for yourself. When you do show up for yourself, especially in the beginning, you need to reward yourself, right? Eventually you'll shift your mindset around this and start to understand that self-care is the reward. But in the beginning, especially, reward yourself for showing up for you. When you do the self-care, when you are successful at it, right? Reward yourself for that. Celebrate that win, that you chose you over productivity. In the long run, what ends up happening as you start to prioritize your self-care over productivity all the time, it actually starts to make you more productive because you are in better health, mentally, emotionally, physically, and therefore you are able to produce better. There's actually a whole cycle around reward and produce and how that works, and there's a 4-step cycle. And most of us only ever learn to produce and produce and produce and practice so we can produce more. But we never get the other parts of those cycles, right? The review cycle and the rest cycle, so that we can be more productive. And so adding that self-care into your daily routine is imperative as an entrepreneur. But it doesn't have to be this big complex thing. It can be small, making sure you're blocking out time for lunch or, getting up to stretch, moving around a little bit. All of those are self-care. But you have to make sure you're blocking it into your day. You have to make sure you're making room for it in your life and in your schedule. And then you have to commit to it and show up. Show up and celebrate when you do show up. And that's it for the quick self-care tips that I have for you today. Comment below and let me know what you are going to do to add some self-care into your day today so that you can be more productive as an entrepreneur in your life going forward tomorrow and all the tomorrows after that. Please hit subscribe while you're down there and click the little bell so that you get the notifications, and we will see you next time.